Today we're going to be making this low poly world in Blender. Let's go. So here we are in Blender version 3.3 and I got my man default cube right here. Gonna press X and just go ahead and delete that. Then we're gonna do Shift A mesh and we go up here, make sure we go and add a plane. Then I'm gonna go and press S and then I'm gonna press number 4 to scale it and then simply click and there we go. Now we can press tab into edit mode, go over here, E to extrude it and just bring it up. And let's do right about there. Now I'm going to add a loop cut. So I'm going to do Control R or Command R depending on Mac or Windows. And instead of using the scrolling wheel, I'm just going to literally press number 8 on my keyboard. And now we got a loop cut right there. And then press Escape out of this. Go to this side view. So you can technically press 1 to see that view, but 3 where we're at right now, and then scroll up. Command R or Control R again, press number 8, click, then press Escape, and now we've got all these squares. And now what we're gonna do here is we're going to make the little riverbed. So for this, you could technically add more subdivisions, more loop cuts, but let's just keep this simple. And for this one, we're gonna actually open up and do proportional editing. So you can click here, or you can simply press O on your keyboard. It does the same exact thing. And then if you were to press G, you can see that we move it like that. And then also, when you press G, you can use the scrolly wheel on your mouse to make it bigger or smaller. And we'll go about like right here, maybe yeah, like right about there. And then G, and just move it down a little bit. And then go like right here, G. I'll make this even smaller just so it doesn't get everything like this. And you can technically press 1. And then you can do G and move it down like this, and you can do Shift Z to see in between it to see what you're doing, and you'll see how the bottom part gets moved, but don't worry, we'll fix that afterwards. G again, let me make this a little bit bigger right here, even over here. Let's move this down a little bit more, and then G here, click down, and let's try like right there. And for the most part, if we see it, we could probably keep going a little bit more here and then like right there. And we can always adjust this later on, but for the most part, like we have some sort of section like this. Now, before we continue, if we press number 1, we'll see we have this like bottom part. If we do Shift Z, it's like hanging out. So what we can do is when you do Shift Z, select everything, right? So we have the entire bottom selected. And so once we have everything selected, we can press 1, go back to face view. Press O again to deselect proportional editing, then S to scale, Z, and then 0. And then there we go. Now we have it all nice and flat. And we go like this, you can see it's like this. Now some of them obviously aren't perfectly straight, but no big deal right now. You're not going to see it for this thing. Now let's do Shift Z. And as we got so far, our little polyland right here. And now let's do Shift A, mesh, plane again, S, 4, click, tab, Shift Z to see it through it, E to extrude it up, and we'll go like about right here. And then press tab again, A to select it. Well, actually, let's tab back out. Let's do only, just click on the right side, Shift Z, and let's make sure we're out of edit mode. Tab again back to edit mode. We're in object mode now, but we have this plane right here, which I'm gonna call the water, and this one will be the land. All right, so now we have the water selected. So if I Shift Z again, you can see just this part, and then we'll do GZ, move it up, and look what's going on right now. So now we have like this little river thing going on, and then now we press 7, we can do Shift Z again. This is wireframe. S, X, because it's on the red axis to scale it, like right here. Shift Z to get out of this. GX to move it into this riverbed right about there. And then we can do S and then Y, scale it just a little bit inwards. And if you want to make it a little bit thicker or bigger, you can do GZ, move it up some more, or keep like this. And then technically, we can tab back to object, click on this one, on the land, G, and then if we really want to, we can move this stuff down And you can do proportional editing again if you wanted to. But for the most parts, you can move stuff up and you can get fancy with this. But idea is there pretty much, like this. And maybe even move this one down a little bit. So just like that, a little simple one right now. And then what I want to do is I want to tab first, and I want to go into edge select. We're going to do option click or alt click, depending on your keyboard, while holding shift. Option click again here, option click again this side, option click again this side, and then we're going to do Control B or Command B to bevel. And right now, if we have the external mouse, we can scroll the wheel and do maybe 4 or even 5, which depends on how much you want. And we can make this just like a little curve, tab it out, and then I can right click and shade smooth, go over here to this object data properties, normals, scroll it up, auto smooth. And we just want to add a little bell right there, and then I can do the same for the river, tab edit mode, and then basically click on this, spin around, shift click here, Command B or Control B, and just bevel it like that, tab, and then click back onto the river, shade smooth, same thing, data properties, auto smooth there. And ideally, if you really wanted to make this like lower poly to where it has like the little bumps and stuff into it, I mean, feel free to add loop cuts, you know, like that, and then make the squares. But for the most part, we're gonna keep it fairly simple, just like this. And now let's go to the material properties view, click on the land, go over here to the materials, new, let's call this one land. And this will be, let's try like a greenish color right now. And let's see, probably like here, maybe even a little bit darker. And something about there, doesn't have to be perfect, but that would just be for now. And then this would just be the water, which we would just call water right there, water. And then go here, water, let's make it a little darkerish blue, try to make it up like that. And for the most part, I'll keep it like this for now. And it looks kind of overly bright because we are in the current materials viewport, but if you look at the actual render, this is what it currently will look like. So we can adjust that later. And now if you want to, we can save this first off, go file, save as. So save this first, and then we can continue with the project. So now we want to go ahead and let us add in some trees. All right, so there's one thing you need to do. You need to go here to edit, go to preference, go to add-ons, click here, type in E, extra objects, make sure you have that one right here, add this one, and then go here. I'll just shift right click around like this area so I can have my little tree. Do shift A now, go to mesh, single vert, add single vert. Now it's very important you make sure you click onto the vertices option, and then we'll press 1, E to extrude it, and now we have this little extrusion right here. E to extrude it again, and let's do like maybe one right here. Now this will be essentially a tree trunk. Then I can go E to extrude it like out here. This will be like a branch number 1. I can even put like one like this, and then I can press 3, E to extrude it from this view like that, and then we'll have another one like this. And for the most part, you could select these two, and then like do, let's see, G, X, move it over. So if we go to 7, you have like some sort of triangular view. Again, it's all up to your preference. So now we have something like this. And now, before we do anything, let's go back to tab object mode, and then we can do Command A or Control A, and make sure you apply all transforms. And now we did the transforms. Now we can go to modifier tab, the wrench tool, click on the skin modifier, and check that out. And then we can tap into edit mode, A to select them all, and then we can do Command A or Control A, and that basically will shrink it up right about here. And then we'll do Shift Z. I'll select the bottom parts of the trunk like this, Control A or Command A, make them a little bit bigger. Then I'll select even these, Command A, make it even bigger. and like this, and then we can select all the tips of the branches, Command A, and make them pointier like that, and Shift Z, and we got something like this so far. Now if you want to make your tree even bigger, I mean, we could technically do a little bit wider. There we go, and then Shift Z. For the most part, that's what we got going on. And now if you really wanted to, you could go ahead and make this with a subdivision surface modifier, make it even more rounded, which I'll just keep it just like 1 for now. But if you want to keep like very low poly, feel free to leave that, ignore that. And now we have this, like, let me escape real quick. Have this little tree branch, and now tab back into object mode. Let's just call this tree trunk right there. And now we can press 1, Shift A, Mesh, Icosphere, GZ, move it up. And actually I did forget something. Let's press X to delete this. Shift A again, Mesh, Icosphere, go over here and change the subdivisions to 1. So now we can go GZ, make it a little lower poly, and then GX. Again, it's completely optional, but go like that. And then we can scale it down like right about here, GZ. And then go to 3, make sure it's on the actual tree part, there we go. And then go back to 1, and we can do, technically we could do Shift D or Option D. I'm just gonna go ahead and do Option D, and the reason is because I haven't made a color yet, and it's gonna be annoying to have to recolor this. R, and we can rotate this even here, scale it in like this. Option D or Alt D right here. Let's press 3 again, make sure we're in the right spots. G, yeah, like right here. Scale it up, rotate it however you want. You can even go in here and mess up the vertices to make it look even more unique. Again, it's up to you. And that's what we got so far here. And then let's do one more Alt D or Option D again. And then let's do C7, G, Shift Z, you can see where it's okay right there. And we'll scale this one, double R to rotate a little bit. I'll tap in edit mode, and let me move this one like this. And tap back out. And so far we got our little tree right here. And we technically could Shift or Option D again here. Scale it up, make it even bigger. And have like an inside part of the tree, rotate it up again. And let's see, let's just move it like right in here, right there, scale it up. Again, it's up to you, and move this one, looks like it's not all the way there, okay. So we'll keep it like this, and then technically we can go ahead and color this in. So go to the materials view, new, go right here, and just pick your color of choice. If we go even lighter green, we'll keep it, I'll do it like that for now. And we'll just call this like light green. And then for the tree trunk, we can go here, go, and let's do like a, lighter, yeah, like a lighter brown like that. And then now what I want to do is, first of all, I want to go here, object, set the origin to geometry. Actually, no, origin to 3D cursor. So now I can shift select all these guys. Well, no, let's do shift select them all here, make sure I got that guy inside, and then we'll lastly select this guy, and then we'll do Command P or Control P, object transform. So now I move the tree, everything's parented to like that. Rotate Z, everything goes like this. So now I can do GZ, move it into the ground like that. And now we got a tree. Now I can press 0 on the keyboard to see the camera. Click on the camera. Shift left asterisk next to the 1 on the keyboard. And we'll move it back. Zoom in like this. Go like this. Now technically we're going to do this in a different view. We're going to go change this from perspective to orthographic. We'll just zoom this out like this. Bring the Y. Let's see. Just have it centered, and now I can go here, shift, and let's see. Let's actually select everything. Shift down until we have a decent sized tree. Alright, like that. And now go back to the camera. see, let's go down like this now. Maybe even get even closer. Yeah, let's get a little closer right there. Let's see, X over. And yeah, we could keep like this. And again, we could make this into a square. It's up to you, but keep like that. Now, tab or press 0 again. Now we're back. 2 or 3. So now, let's do this. Let's go here. Just select everything. Shift select. And then we can do Shift D, GY. Move one over here. Rotate Z over like this. Scale it down a little bit. Now this time we can actually add another color, new, and then we can say like let's see, let's do like a lightish yellow. Tap in edit mode, A, select, assign it, and now you can see it's completely different color. And now we can go ahead and get fancy, and we can shift select this one, Shift D, GY, and you can try to go 7 and just move like this. Scale it down even more. Rotate it, rotate Z like this, and then we can go and move this guy over here. Click on this. We can erase that one. Let's plus sign this one. New. Let's do like a lightish red. Tap edit mode. A to select it. Signed it. Boom. There we go. And now, again, you can keep them all one color. It'll save your time, but let's keep it like that. And then I'll just do one more like here. Shift D, G. Let's do Y. Bring it over. GX. Scale it a little bit. Rotate it. Z, like here. Let's move it over like that. So now I got some trees there. And then I can probably get this one. Actually, yeah, let's select this guy here. And tell you what we could do is select the right click and select the hierarchy like that. Shift D, bring him over here, scale it down, rotate Z. Now we got some trees over here, and then I want a few trees onto the other side. So here we can select this trunk, right click, select hierarchy, Shift D, move it over here. Actually, let's go to 7, G like this, 3, GZ, go down. There we go, and let's add some green here. Select the hierarchy, Shift D, G, move it X right here, GY, and scale it down like that. Rotate Z. And again, you can get fancy with this, but for the most part, you can get the point there. So now, let's create little grass pieces, and then we'll do technically we could just shift like right click like right about here, Shift A, and the way I did that is just simply click on a cone, change the vertices to like 6, make it low poly as possible, GZ, scale it, zoom it in like this, scale Z, and then technically, I mean, this is pretty much like a thick grass piece right here. We can scale it even more if you wanted to. Scale it down. And then if I go 1, G, Z like this. And now if I press 0, I can see how it looks. And right now, let's change the material to like a darker green. Yeah, like this. Let's just call this one the grass. Go over here, zoom in. That's what we got so far. So I can do Shift D, rotate, G, move it over like here, Shift D, right there, rotate it like this, G like this, and we zoom in, make sure I'm inside of here. And for the most part, you can scale this down, GZ down like this. Same thing here. Scale it down, GZ, G over to the left, or to the right like that. And then we could actually shift select all these, do Command J, Control J to combine them together into one, and then we just call this like grass. So now we can actually go click on this, press 7, Shift D, right click it here, Just make sure we're actually inside of the grass there. Could even rotate it. Again, it's up to you. And now we can just do this all over. So press 7 again, Shift D, here, here. Let me make sure this is even in the, yeah, it looks like it's in. Rotate Z. Let's go like right about here. And feel free to add this grass stuff wherever you want to. Let's go back 7. I'll do like 2 more here, here. I'll do 1 more right there. Rotate Z, GZ, make sure it's into the actual grass. 1, 3, 7. Okay, there we go. And now we got some grass going on. And now let's go ahead and add in some rocks. So let's say Command S or Control S to save. Shift, let me see, Shift A. And now we're gonna add a icosphere again. Keep it at 1 G. And let's do SC, scale it down a little bit. Shrink it in, and let's press 1 GZ, go like this. I want to add some in the water, so press 7 G, move it over here, and this rock looks a little too round, so I'll tab edit mode, move it in a little bit, try to tweak it up, just make it a little custom, you know. And let's see, GZ down a little bit more, new, call this one rock. Change it to like a grayish color like that. Boom, there we go. 7. Shift, actually we can do Option D. Over, scale, rotate Z, G right there. Now we can go ahead, Shift D, or actually Command Z that, or Control Z that. Option D here, scale it, put it like right there. Let's see how that looks. Little rocky formation. Let's make that GZ go down a little bit. Same with this guy. Boom. Okay. And then Option D again. Put some like rocks here. Option D here. And for the most part, you know, get fancy with that. I think this is enough rocks for now. And then I want to actually click onto the grass thing right here. Option select or Alt select. We'll go to face first, and then Option or Alt select this. And now we can add in new color, and this will be like a kind of like a sandy looking color like this. Just call this like sand tab. And now we get a little sand looking stuff like that. And now I want to make little mushrooms for our thing, so I'll do Shift right click here, Shift A. Now we're gonna do cylinder. Make sure we'll make this, let's do like 6. Scale it in. GZ, scale it in. Zoom in, GZ till we're in. Okay, we're in the grass. Scale it down a little bit. More like, there we go. GZ. Tab. Command R Control add a loop cut. And then technically we could go face select. We could move it out like this. We could scale this in. And then we're actually, what we're going to do here is we're going to extrude it out, scale it out, extrude it again, boom, scale it in, and then pretty much if you really wanted to, you could keep extruding it, making even more, even add inset if you wanted to, and make, you know, even more mesh stuff, and then like GZ it up too. Again, it's up to you, but basically if I select like edge select this, Alt select, can scale this out even more. And for the most part, this is going to be a little mushroom. So now we can Shift Z, select the top faces and the bottom. Actually, let's select everything first, new. Make this stem like a little yellowish. This will just be the stem. And then I'll just say this is the top. And this will just be like a reddish. Well, actually, yeah. I have to select this part first, assign it. So now if I Shift Z, now we see we have a mushroom like that. And this would be the top mushroom. Tab, and so far as what we got. So now I'll make this like a little more red. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now, simple design, just scale that in. And again, if you don't like the way it looks, always you can scale this in, make it skinny like that. And now we can go ahead and Option D. Scale this in, rotate Z, G, move it like this. And then let's do Option D again. Over, scale, rotate Z, G, over like that. So now I can shift select all these. Now again, you can rename this, but for simplicity, I'm gonna keep it like this. 7, Shift D, here, rotate, make sure it's in, GZ go down a little bit, and then 7 again, Shift D, put some guys right here. I might even get rid of one of these, delete them, and then we can do like another 7, Shift D over here. And again, you can get creative with this however you want to, and I'll keep it like that for now. Press 0, see how it looks. So we got going on so far. And last thing I want to do is add a little dock right here. So let's do right click right here, Shift A. Let's do cylinder, and let's do 8 this time. Make it a little bit rounder. Scale 7, and let's go GZ. Let's do SC, scale it up. GZ like right here. And technically, since the water's not see-through, you can't really see. But if you want to make this thing like the dock post longer, you can. We'll do like G over, let's see, X like right here. And now there's a trick. You could mirror this, and you could go like here. You could do mirror, and we could do like technically mirror on the actual land, and then we could do like the Y2, which we could, and then S. Oh, we could do, let's see, S, scale both, G. Let's move this on the Y a little bit closer, yeah, like this. Again, depends on what you're trying to do, so we could keep it like that. And now I can press 7, shift right click right about here, Shift A, plane. Let's do GZ, bring it, well actually no, let's do change it, GZ, bring it up, go back to 7, scale on the X, let's see, like this, scale on the Y, and let's see, 7, G, Y, tab, edit mode, extrude it up a little bit, okay, tab back out, 7 now, scale on the X a little bit more, G, and let's do X here. So I'll keep it like right here, and here, let's see, cool little trick would we go to modifiers tab, go to array, let's do 1.05, actually let's do 1.1, okay, there we go. Change this up to as many as you can fit, and now we could technically, let's do GX like this, yeah, let's do like that, and then let's do 7 GX2, and let's make this probably like 1.15. So there it looks like GX a little bit more, and for the most part that's what we got so far. Now, if you want to like individually adjust these and make them crooked and fancier, you could apply this actual array modifier and then individually do that. So let me just show you, for example, we can go here, apply once we like what we do, and now if I tab, for example, in edit mode, I can actually hold Command L. So I select one, Command L. Now we have like this. Now I can rotate it like that. Rotate Z. Yeah, let's go like this. Make it a little broken, you know, not make it perfect. Command L, Control L again. Rotate like this. And we'll keep it like that. And now, select my mirror guys here. Go to new. Let's just call this like the dock pose. Let's go here. Brownish color, darker brown. Let's go like right about there. And let's match them with this. Just keep it like, actually let's do a different color. Let's do different brown. Ooh, I actually kind of like this one better. So let me change this one lighter maybe. Let's see. Let's do, go up like that. And I want to see how this looks like in the render view first. Now we go to 0. So this is what it looks like right now. It looks kind of iffy. Now on cycles, which we're going to end up rendering in, this is what it looks like so far. So first off, let's save it. And then we can do Shift A. Let's add some lighting. Area light, GZ, move it up. And we can scale this bad boy like this. Go to the lights logo. Let's try 1000 real quick. So that's what we got so far. GY, move it over here. GZ, right there. Rotate Y. Got this going on. So if I go to 7, let's see, where's he at? He's a little too off. All right, let's go. Let's see, rotate or double R, and actually let's do this. Let's press 1, double R until we get my guy's lighting right about in between here, and then press 3 right about right there. So 1's here, 3. Okay, so now we have it in there. Double R, let's move it like this. And now we got our guy like that. So let's go to 0. And technically, if you wanted to, we can also add in, we can delete this light real quick. We can do Shift A, light sun, GZ. And ideally with sun, it's like this one, it'll do too much. 2 might be a little bit. 3, again, you can play around with the different colors. I'll just keep one like here, just move it over like this. And then also you could actually, what's cool is we can go to this this little word tab, and depending on the background color you choose will determine how well your light looks. So if you want a certain look, go ahead and do that, but I'm gonna go like a little, almost fully dark but not all the way black. And then for the light color here, I want this to have kind of like a let's see, let's just test out some different vibes and see how this looks. So we got the purple, the blue, the green, and for the most part, I mean, like light whites for the most part usually looks good in general if you made it based off of this design thing. But here we can do Shift, well actually no, hold up, Command Z there. Command Z there. Okay, we can do Shift A. We can add even another point light if you want to. GZ, you know, make this like a 200. And then, you know, depending on the areas that you want the shading, and then if you like this to be even yellow, orange, whatever color that you're trying to get. I'll do like a little lightish yellow right here. Changes it to maybe like a 500. And for the most parts, go ahead and go crazy with the lighting. And also I want a notice this side is dark, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's do Shift A, light area, GZ, scale it up, GX, rotate it like this, add some power to it. Now let's press 0. And so that's what we got so far. So again, if you want to add more lighting and fix the shading and everything of the trees, you're welcome to do that. And here, I mean, I could add in like a little, even more yellowish orange. If I put too much, it might make the sand part look a difference than what I want. But for the most part, is what I got going on. So now, if you want to render this, go here, switch to cycles, and let's see how cycles looks right now. This is what we got for cycles. Now, if you want to make this shinier, you could go to Materials tab and, you know, change the different views, the roughness, all that stuff. Turn the roughness down a little bit. And now let's go ahead and max sample size. Like for these, I mean, right now the viewport, we could change this to like 128. And I mean, ideally anything like 256, 512 for these are pretty much good. You want more, feel free if you have the computer capabilities. And then go over to, where is it at, right here. And let's see, render option, go down to this. This is where you make the file name. Make sure you name it PNG for the type of file format, and then pretty much go here, render the image, and then when it finishes, this is what you'll have. And then if you don't like certain looks, the shadows, the lighting, like if you don't like the trees looking like this, you can go ahead and add some point lights to it. But for the most part, this is how I created this low poly world. So go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.